finally, Tesla's Q3 deliveries are going to be awesome. It's going to be a record revenue in my opinion based on the data that's coming out, and it's going to be a very good quarter. Probably I would call it the rebound. This is the rebound quarter that I think Tesla has actually bottomed in Q2. We'll see that how Q4 is going to look like, but man, the data is looking really good for Q3, and energy is looking really good, and vehicle deliveries is looking good, and price action is looking good. So I think this is going to be a really, really good quarter, which also justifies why the stock keeps going up higher and higher. Man, I'm just so excited, man. Finally some good news. Finally some good news. But in my opinion, I think the really good news is not going to come until Q3 or Q4 of 2026 because of, robotaxis, right? Because that's when the actual revenue and profits of that is going to really, really significantly impact, or not significantly, but at least impact the stock in a way that's justifiable through its earnings. So I'm very excited about that. So let's get down to it. Smash that like button, hit subscribe if you haven't already because Q3 is juicy. Let's get into it. So before we jump into my numbers, let's look at what's going on in all the factories, in all the continents, right? First off, in China, sold out. The Tesla Model YL is completely booked for September production. If you order now, you'll have to wait until October to get yours. And right now, I think there's about 40,000 reserves. I think more, maybe close to 50 now. That's insane. That is insane. So China numbers are going to be great for August deliveries and September deliveries. It's going to be flipping crazy, mainly in September deliveries. I'm looking forward to that. In the US, inventory is running low. Some areas such as Austin, Texas are showing zero new Model Y inventory within a 200-mile radius as people rush to take advantage of the $7,500 federal EV credit before it expires on September 30th. So the US is doing very well. Now, if the US is doing pretty good, that means Texas Gigafactory, I think they're getting ready for the new model that's coming out, but as well as Fremont as well. Fremont. Those guys, I think this quarter, they are getting close to capacity for ramping, which is really, really good. And we have Raj here, who works at Tesla, says that trending toward a need to expedite output even further, which could mean adjusting pricing upward in the coming days. Trying hard not to, but we'll see. So guys, demand is so high right now in the US that they may have to increase prices. That is awesome. Of course, hey, get it as cheap as you can. EV credit is still here. And if you guys need a Tesla and you're in the US, man, if I was in the US, I would be buying all my family members Teslas right now. But I'm here in Kuwait. There's no Teslas here and we don't have any EV credit here anyway. But if I was in the US, I will be taking advantage. And if you're watching this video and you're waiting to get a Tesla, what are you waiting for? Put an order right now. You have until September 30th to take advantage of this EV credit, man. Come on. Do that before they actually increase prices. Because they're talking about that. Because demand is so high. That's insane. So China's crazy. The US is crazy. And in Europe, Tesla built their 100,000th new Model Y at Giga Berlin. I think they started about 5-6 months ago making this new Model Y. That's about 15,000. Just Model Y, not Model 3, just Model Y production every single month. Sheesh! Now, knowing that, here are my numbers when it comes to Q3 deliveries. And yes, this also includes holidays and whatever off days they've got as well. This all includes that. Now, Shanghai, July, this is delivery numbers. We don't have production numbers yet, but I do think it's somewhere in the 80,000s, and I put it down here for Shanghai. Now, for August, I think they're going to be producing 2650 every single day. Model Y, Model 3, Model YL, whatever it is, right? Combined, I think that they're going to be producing over 82,000 vehicles in August and nearly 80,000 vehicles in September as well, which we get a total production number for only 2 months, not the third month, July. We're not adding that as well. We'll add that at the end. But for August and September, I think a little over 161,000 vehicles being produced does make sense. Fremont, I think they're at close to production capacity, which would be around 1,700, but I kept it at 1,400 for July for every single day, 1,450 for August every single day, and 1,500 for September. we get a little over 130,000 vehicles being produced in Fremont, Berlin. Based on the 100,000 Model Y being produced, I think these numbers are correct, if not a little conservative. I think these numbers could be a bit more, but I think around 500 to 550 vehicles being produced daily across July to September. These are numbers that we get. Almost 50,000 vehicles being produced. But again, I think I'm sandbagging this because it's hard to get information from Berlin. So I do think this is a little bit more, maybe 5 to 10,000 more, maybe a little bit higher than that as well. But I'm not pushing to the metal with Berlin yet because they've been jumping with their numbers. I'm sticking with the below 50,000 production as well. Texas as well, I think they're going crazy as well. 600 to 700 vehicles being produced daily across July to September. That's almost 60,000 vehicles being produced for this 3 months. And I do think this is also being conservative as well. I do think that this quarter, I don't know if Tesla's going to deliver 500,000 vehicles, but I do think production could be close to that. And speaking about production, total production here, excluding July of Shanghai, it's almost 400,000 vehicles. I'm going to give this a 99% delivery rate. And I think this could even be 100% because of the massive demand that's going on right now in all three continents, except for Europe. Europe is lagging a little bit compared to China or Asia and North America. But I think 99% delivery rate, I think this is going to be a really solid quarter. So 99% of the total production comes down to almost 395,000 vehicle deliveries, plus the July deliveries, confirmed deliveries from Shanghai. That comes down to over almost 463,000 vehicles. Total production will come down to almost 480,000 vehicles. Now guys, this is not my final numbers. My final numbers will be dropped next month. But this is good. Why? Because originally I thought they can deliver only 450,000, but this breakdown, it's showing it's going to be 12K, 13K more, which probably does mean it's going to be a whole lot more than this. Now, what's interesting here is that 463,000 vehicle deliveries is the same amount of deliveries that Tesla did in Q3 of 2024. So that is very interesting. And what's crazy here is that Pejjy here, they're forecasting 496,000 deliveries for this quarter for Tesla, which is insane. If this happens, that is a sheesh flipping moment. That's all I gotta say. But I doubt it. I don't think they can hit 500,000 deliveries. Production, yes. But again, I'll update this number when it comes to, I don't know, a week or two before the actual delivery report. And of course, I'm going live for that. It's always fun to go live for that. But let's put this into the stock price prediction chart, the revenues, what the revenues will be, the profits will be, because this is flipping awesome. So here's the chart, and yes, this is available on Patreon. Some numbers to point out here is that I have average selling price a little over 39,000. Now in Q2 was more than Q1, which was interesting. So this could actually be more. This could be maybe in the 39 and a half, probably 39 and 750. But I'm putting in 39 and 25 just to stay conservative. Credits of 600, services and others of 3.2 billion. I have vehicle gross profits here of 14.5%. I think this could be even more because I think they're going to be producing record. And if they're going to be producing record, they're going to benefit from the economy of scale. But keeping it 14.5% just to stay conservative. We have energy revenues of 3.5 billion. Now, this is based on 12.5 gigawatt hours energy deployment. This can go as high as 15. And if it does, we're looking at the 4 billions, guys. That's insane. But 3.5 billion, I'm going to put here 12.5 gigawatt hours. I'm sticking to 12.5. It could be 15, but I'm sticking to 12.5 here. With almost a 29% gross profit, that's almost $1 billion gross profit just coming from energy. That is insane. We have operating costs of 3.2 billion. This could be less, but being cautious here. Taxes of 350 and other income of 500 million. Shares outstanding of 3.5 billion. Now let's put that in. Let's put 463,000 vehicles because this is not my confirmed number. Let's put 463,000 vehicles and bam, look at all these numbers coming. I absolutely love it. Check this out. Q3 revenue, a record almost hitting $26 billion. This is, again, if Tesla does anything over 460,000 in vehicle deliveries based on these numbers, or just in general, if they do over 460,000, I'm so excited. 460,000 vehicle deliveries, that's a record revenue. Ever. I mean, this is the highest revenue that Tesla has done, which is a sheesh moment. Now, if this actually happens, Tesla will be growing their revenues year after year, because Q3 of 2024 to Q3 of 2025, about 2 to 3%. This will be, people will be criticizing it, but nonetheless, it's a record revenue. We have an operating margin of 5.5%. We have total GAAP gross margin of 17.8%, so that is really good. Net income GAAP of almost 1.6 billion and non-GAAP of almost 2 billion. Now, right now, the PE for Tesla is about 200, which is insane, but you can tell how much growth Wall Street is expecting because of all the things that's coming around with the robotaxis and energy and all that kind of stuff. So right now the stock is around 345, 350. With this, we need a PE of 220 to reach the same one. So the PE is actually going to rise. And that's because the fiscal EPS year over year is going down. That's why the PE keeps going up and up. And now EPS non-GAAP will be 56 cents, which is better than Q2, but we need Tesla to grow this. We need Tesla to actually be on an upward trend in order for the yearly EPS to go back up. And once that goes back up, stock's going to go up justifiably, not based on speculation or anything like that. Which I do think the stock is cheap because robotaxi is just going to be a power and a kisser once it's generating a bunch of money. And that's going to happen within a quarter or two sometime next year. But that's why the PE is really, really high. Now, let's say Tesla does it. It's a miracle. They did 500 vehicle deliveries, right? Let's just say that, right? Which would be insane. 500 vehicle deliveries. That would be an EPS of 62 cents and a gap of 55 cents. Now again, EPS yearly is going down still, but it does show that Q2 is a potential bottom, which I do think it's a bottom. I think Q4 is going to be great as well. Q1, not too sure about that, but Q3, Q4, especially Q4, if we get a higher number than Q3 or the same, even a little bit less, we know that Q2 is a bottom, and I do believe it's a bottom as well. We have operating margin of 6% and a record revenue, of course, 27.3 billion or 0.4 billion, which is a 5 to 7% increase, which is really good. Net income GAAP of 1.8 billion and non-GAAP of 2 billion. Of course, these are peanut numbers. We need to see Tesla do more, but we know more is coming. But I'm going to go back to 463,000 and I'm going to keep it at that because you guys already know me. I am a conservative. When I do these numbers, they're conservative numbers. So not my final numbers, but we're looking at a very good quarter for Q3. It could be the turning point for Tesla, and I really do believe so. That's going to be the case. Now, 500,000 vehicles being deliveries, I don't think that's going to be the case. I'll be shocked if that happens, and sometimes I do get shocked with these delivery numbers because it's Tesla. They shock me sometimes. You guys see me in my live videos, I'm like, bro, how did they do this, right? This could potentially be the same quarter, and I'm very excited to see what they're going to really pull off here. But production numbers of 500K for the first time, I can see that actually happening. Very, very excited. Nonetheless, Q3 is going to be awesome. It's going to be epic, and I'm very excited for. And you know what else you guys should be excited for? A podcast I did with Robert Scoble. Man, he gave some valuable information because he has some inside information. Not inside information, but he talks to these guys, Tesla engineers, and the things that he spilt in this flippin' podcast was absolutely insane. It's an hour and a half. Grab your popcorn. It's going to be a sheesh moment. Subscribe, guys. Become a channel member. And I shall see you guys in the next video. Let's go!